Good morning, good noon, good evening, wherever time and place you're listening to us from, straight from the 909. It's Mark, Andre, and myself, Isaiah, and together, that's hip-hop. Today we are discussing one, if not the greatest MC of all time, had it not been for some unfair and unfortunate events. Because it feels like his reputation has been more known for like what's happened off the mic than rather than what's happened on it, right? But we are talking about Canibus today. And still yet in an alternate universe somewhere, Canibus is probably the biggest hip hop star the world has ever seen. Right?
Facts.
We're covering his solo debut album, Canibus, released on September 8th, 1998 through Universal Records. The production was provided by Canibus, Wyclef, and some other few people that we don't need to really go into, but
people that are irrelevant today, apparently.
You're correct. Nah, just playing. No, respect to everybody who put this project together, but it includes some guest appearances, most notably Mike Tyson, Free Paz, Panama, P.I., a few other people. The album reached number 2 on the US Billboard 200 chart. Certified gold.
Yeah, his first two albums are certified gold.
Certainly certified.
That his first album, then 2000 BC, and then got dropped after lack of sales. And you figure to be certified gold, you have to sell 500,000 albums. So I guess 1 million albums together collectively.
They
Universal was like, nah.
Yeah. They bet high on
Next.
So there's just so much to get into here with this album. But I would like to start, before we get into anything, I would like to start by taking us back to the 90s. And just, first hearing of Canibus, before there were internet rappers, there was Canibus. I'll battle you on the net. I'll battle you in the flesh. I'll battle you over the phone. You could call me collect. Such classic lines like that. I mean, it's crazy that, the internet was barely becoming a thing.
It was starting.
Yeah, it was just starting. Yeah. But when you think about it, like what rapper was out here building their own website? Canibus was doing that. Like that is
put it in your CD-ROM, www.canibus.com.
Yes.
I mean, the intro to this album literally starts with the modem. Like you're trying to
and he's like hacking into the world or whatever, right?
I'm almost there.
So let's talk about that time in the 90s. Like, I'll start with you, Mark, because I know you're the biggest Canibus fan. So we'll start with you. What was it like, when you first experienced him, like at the time when you were growing up?
So when I first started hearing about Canibus, I had a lot of people mention different intelligent rappers or what you would put in the category such as, and his name was being mentioned a lot. So I turned in to listen to all his discography as much as I could, and hearing this first album off the jump, it's like this guy brought it to you. And then from that moment on, I was hooked. We're talking like the moment that he ended up releasing a 2008 project called For Whom the Beat Tolls. I drug my buddy Michael Ish. You may know him. I took him all the way to LA in my fucking busted Kia Rio.
Really?
Hoping that it would make it all the way to the Knitting Factory, and actually went and watched him live. And like that day that he was actually there at the Knitting Factory, he was pushing For Whom the Beat Tolls. So I bought it there, like directly supporting him as much as I could.
The best experience you could have right there.
The best, one of the best parts.
Shook his hand, gave him a hug.
Yo, my blessing.
Like, whoa, no. So
you're going to be the greatest. So he's looking at him in his eyes.
Check the next one.
Yeah. I like your style. You like my style. So
I'm a fan.
Dude. So I buy the album, and then he had like a bunch of stickers. So I took a few stickers and stuff. And then throughout the night, throughout his performance, I had the album in front, and I was like first or second in the row. And one of his buddy, I think his name was Sun God, because he's on the album too. He took the album and was like stunning it out to the crowd and stuff, brought it back to me. And then Biss comes out, does his performance, and all of a sudden I'm in the crowd, like we're all cheering and stuff. And all of a sudden, just
Wait.
dude, he dapped me like in the crowd. All you see is just like,
Wow.
dude. I was like, I think some of that some of the lyrical miracle, some of the lyrical miracle.
Transfer, like Jesus.
Yeah, it was like, remember when Piccolo had a fuse with Nail in Dragon Ball Z? And I like felt way more powerful. Yeah, but it was one of those cool moments. And the fact that I was really in tune to what he was spitting, like I was starting to get into just like finding stuff about the cosmos and stuff, UFO phenomenon, extraterrestrials, conspiracy theories. This guy was right up my avenue. And after that, I was hooked. Every project that he would kind of release, I was always in tune with it. I mentioned Andre early on the way here that he actually had an album called C, True Hollywood Stories, kind of similar to the font of E, True Hollywood Stories, but it really went straight to his lyrical style, and it was really extremely different. And I'm very critical about it because I was kind of surprised that he would let his emotions go to the wayside.
To such an extreme that he would make this project.
That's how Biss really, Canibus really just does it for me lyrically. Like, he's a great MC to me. I know it's the last like 3 times we've mentioned this minus MF Doom, but he's in my top 10. Yeah. But he's extremely, extremely intelligent. His rhyme style is second to none. Yeah. People are like a very far second place in comparison to him and like at this intellectual level. But again, I'll mention later how that's kind of his, it's too unique to even try to, he's in a position where he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Mm-hmm. So I'll explain that later at the end of this, at the end of the program here.
All right. And for you, Andre, how did you get into Canibus?
It actually kind of funny. Somebody just gave me a bunch of burnt CDs. You know, back in the day when he was burning CDs.
Tons of them,
you know, so you never even saw an album cover sometimes. So this was around the time where I was getting a lot of burnt CDs. One of my friends, Daniel, this guy was a genius. He just had this, he was like ahead of the game, so he just knew how to steal music. So he always had just like the newest hip hop shit. So, you know, he just gave me his batch of just like CDs, right? But there's no logos or anything. It's just Canibus, right? So I remember this one in particular. I guess it might have been 2000 BC. I don't know. I think it might have been a compilation too. Back in the day, you got a CD that was blank. It could have been a mixtape somebody made.
Yeah,
but
you could have heard Will Smith with Canibus.
We were playing like a Guess Who game. Like
you were, yeah.
When he was describing like what album was this, it was kind of like this and that. I was like, was it this album? Was it this? I was like, can you guess who? What Canibus album?
Exactly. That's what. So I don't know if he like made a best hits or whatever, but that was one of the ones I ran back a lot, and I was like, this shit is so, like you said, intellectual, right? Compared to all the other cats I heard before, you know, I was really on my rhyme Eminem scheme shit. So my particular craving was rhyme schemes, not necessarily depth, but just rhyming. So when I heard Canibus, I was like, he's the rhymer that I'm looking for, right? He's got all the rhymes where I want him to be, right? But I wasn't on that intellectual level. So when I was hearing him, I'm like, he's saying things that my other favorite people don't sound like. You know what I mean? Like, I think I was running with Cassidy and Cameron and shit, right? Yeah. So hearing Canibus was like, all C's, by the way. But hearing Canibus was just like, wow. Why? It's just, it was a type of aggression and a type of intellect that I wasn't ready for. And he was doing these concepts, like he was doing a concept deeper than a concept, you know? So it was a lot of shit like that. But as years went on, the one person that actually really got me to understand Canibus is Mark. So Mark would just sit me down, play all of his favorite Canibus tracks, and he would literally rap all the words word for word and like really just kind of go into his zone. And that got me to really understand, like, because Mark was the dude, right? So when it comes to lyricism and high level lyricism, I know when Mark has that level of lyricism in his mind, when he was playing Canibus for me, he was like, that's the standard. Right. Yeah. And that was what the standard was as we made music.
And everyone's just doing nothing but trying to climb the summit.
Right.
That's how I always thought of it, especially when you try to like emulate somebody lyrically. You can't ever compare, or you can't ever directly like bite somebody lyrically. That's not my avenue. But what I could do is pay a gentle homage to rappers that I'm like, hey, look, I kind of take a little bits and pieces of this and that and just make my own style here, you know?
But that's what Canibus did. He was just, you know, He had a kung fu style that was just so extreme. And to me, that was the idea. He to me, his problem as an MC is that he really wanted to beat everyone, right? So he came through just with a fire like no other. So in my personal experience as an MC, just hearing Canibus and his perspectives, he had what I would call perspective and angles. His angles are so unique. He will say something that just completely blows your mind, simply off the idea that he must have studied animals or something to say this line. Like you must have scientifically studied an animal to come off with this line about being stronger than a bear, right? Because he really will describe the strength of a bear, right?
He was at 24, 23 years old talking about the Drake equation.
Right. What is the Drake? What is that shit?
So
what is that? What are these things, right? No Google. So that level of expertise writing wise speaks to his intelligence before all this internet shit dropped. So yeah, man. You know, long story short, got him off of some blank CDs off of a friend, like some just random stuff as Canibus. All right, cool. And he was dope. But then Mark proved it. He like proved Canibus was dope. But what about you, bro?
For me, I remember seeing Mark have, I think it was like a bumper sticker, I think of Canibus on your car or something.
Oh yeah, the back of the Rio. Yeah.
Yeah, like all those promotion.
That sticker's from the Knitting Factory.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I got.
Okay, so that's like his
So it all
historic moment.
connects now.
Yeah, it's all coming
full
together.
circle now. I remember seeing it on there, and I was like, what is that? Like, it looked like a Wu-Tang emblem, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was
Wow,
different.
that's a shitty car. Look at that sticker. Dude, that Rio. Oh my! That has been everywhere.
Go into it.
So, I love that car. It was like my second car after I crashed the Saturn SL2, and I just remember I was at Andre's house, and I'm like, "Hey man, I gotta go home." All of a sudden, it like died in the middle of
Going
like down the corridor.
I mean, for our audience, you know, picture a jalopy. I mean,
Yeah, picture the small Kia Rio that I think it was shat out by a Chevy Silverado or something.
Yeah.
A bigger car took a dump and it was.
but yet it had the Cannabis bumper.
It had the
sticker on
Canibus
there.
bumper
Yeah.
sticker.
I mean, that's all it needed.
Yeah.
So, you know,
So
That's what
you
made it
saw it
cool.
on the back of there.
So I saw it in the back of your car, but I think what ended up happening is from downloading from the internet again. This was like really early times on the internet when you could actually download anything you
Napster.
wanted, you know, music and all that. So I think what happened was I first downloaded the instrumental because I'm always looking for instrumentals to rap on, and the second round KO instrumental came, and I was just like, "Woo, about to spit on this."
Always a good one.
About to spit on this
This
joint.
one's mine
I didn't
now.
even know who it was.
Right, you just
originally.
grabbed it up,
I just
right?
grabbed the instrumental. I was like, I don't even know what instrumental this is, but
I
I'm
don't
about
care
to
who it
rap on
belongs
it.
to.
Then I think later on, somewhere down the line, I heard him rap on it, and I was just like, whoa, like who's this guy?
Yeah.
You know, and then I think I heard him through the mainstream when he was on that project with LL. That's where I like really heard him, and I was like, oh, okay. Like then I started looking deeper into, you know, some of the crazy verses he's done, and I
freestyle
was
era.
just mind blown.
Freestyle era.
You know, I think it also took like a certain level of fandom to even know about, you know, him at the early times, because he was more like underground at the time, was known for doing some freestyles that were pretty crazy. And you also would have to have had a very high tolerance for like very dense hardcore hip hop, you know, lyrics to actually appreciate and
Diehards
enjoy.
would appreciate it, but it takes a lot out of you listening to it all the time. But it certainly does. And that's kind of like later I'll go in and explain it, but that's kind of like the Shakespearean tragedy of Canibus.
He was almost like a mythical MC to me.
Kind of in the vein of Slick Rick, where they had this brief moment in the sun where it was like he was on the cover of The Source.
Right.
His debut album comes out when he's 24, 25 years old, and then he comes out with 2000 BC, a little more seasoned, which 2000 BC is as good, it's even better than his first album.
Right.
But it's still something to more appreciate of the first album, because you still have second round KO to talk about.
And this is just based off of like hype from his verses and freestyles he's done. He was reaching like godly levels, I feel like, you know, like levels that we have just never heard before up until that time.
Facts.
And then nowadays, you know, when you might hear of them, you know, you might hear of them like kind of as a punchline, or just know him as a has-been or someone who's burned bridges to the point where
whatever happened to this.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing. But there was a point in time for anybody who doesn't know where Canibus was the next big thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I was saying, you know, in another alternate universe or something.
He's the greatest.
He's the greatest rapper that's ever seen this world, or the world has ever seen. So, you know, Canibus, he catapulted from this like freestyle type of hero to being somebody that everybody was expecting was gonna make it basically in the mainstream, but it didn't really happen. You know, even with this album, I feel like the world probably wasn't ready for it, you know, because like with this album, it was, I guess they would kind of deem it as a flop. But now when we look back at it, it's kind of like this relic in hip hop. It's like a time capsule of like, man, there's things here. Like there's things.
It's the roots.
Yeah. And it's, we see a lot of like this imaginative, like he talks about alternate universes, parallels. Like who does that? Like who talks about dolphins, you know, speaking at frequencies and like plotting all these things, and talks about aliens and all this different stuff. Like,
and imagine that hitting number
that.
200, number 2 on the Billboard.
Right.
Imagine that album hitting gold, 500,000 records. It's a culmination of the, you know, the right advertisements, being under a major label like Universal. You'll have all that backing, and maybe all that advertisement versus how much the album actually made didn't really, maybe they weren't at a loss, but they weren't at a profit margin that was desirable. They gave it a second shot with 2000 BC, his second album in the deal.
Right, but
and they were like, nah,
that was it.
This is it. Like, cause they really pushed, there's a lot of adverts for 2000 BC and like different hip hop records. I've seen it in like the Source magazine back in those days. They're really pushing 2000 BC a lot.
I feel like, you know, like he was talking about different stuff, like with conspiracies. He was talking about the Britain's royal family. He was talking about math at some point. Even like the perspective of a sperm. Yeah. There was a lot of things that like, you know, I just feel like we just weren't even ready. This was like and I say this in the most like kindest way. He was kind of like a gigantic nerd. He
Absolutely
kind of was. And he was, I think the New York Times even said that he was like a self-professed like internet, like he loved the internet so much. You know, he made his own website and was talking about all that.
He's like the first guy to like fully harness the power of the internet
and know how it works.
He's all like, I'm so good I can make all this rhyme.
I mean, the idea of making a website at that time was foreign. Foreign.
Yeah,
like completely
super
foreign. Like
for,
he
like,
looked,
this
but
guy.
it made him look more lyrical.
So
because he has a website. Like, I'm so ahead. I'll have a website.
He was going into his biography. He was actually in Atlanta. Wasn't he doing computer programming?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's doing computer programming.
He studied computer science and all this
That's
stuff.
so crazy,
you know,
dude.
Like it is pretty dope actually to learn all these things about him. I just feel like, you know, this album here is very special for hip hop heads, I think, and it should be relooked at. If you've either forgotten it or never heard of it, like you need to take a look at this, because even though it might not have like crazy success, still there is something here that's noteworthy, you know, for hip hop heads, because in here you see just such a cerebral mind. You know, who knows the direction that this genre could have went had everybody got it.
Right.
You know, he was
Had it caught fire,
long before
like
people like Kendrick Lamar who can go there. Like this was real cerebral back then. You know, so it's something that it's worth a listen. So if you haven't checked it out, we definitely recommend to check it out, because it's still important. As a hip hop head, you should listen to this and check it out. These crazy
rhymes. If I could piggyback on you just real quick before we move forward. It's that you got to realize first albums in the 90s. If you are, you know, a watcher or a listener, what we're doing here, picture in the 90s or the 80s or even the 70s, dropping a rap album being terrifying. It's scary because this is your first rap album. Your first one. This is your only shot. So it's one of those situations where, they bring an audience member out in a basketball arena and let them blindfolded shoot a shot for $1 million or something, right?
Yeah.
And if they make it, they get the money. Right. That's, to me, the feeling I get from this album. I've done the freestyles and I've killed them all in the freestyle circuit. This album has to count after all this crazy freestyle shit I did. So, blindfolded, he took the shot. To me, he made the shot. Which is very, that's down to Wu-Tang. I always look at the Wu-Tang situation. The first album that has a shot blindfolded from a group of people, and they made it. Right. So Canibus being, this level of, I would call street intellectual. Doom is a great example of street intellectual, but Canibus is like you said, a big nerd, but he's so street about it. This level that he was coming with and what he was bringing to the world was uncertain. He didn't know what was gonna happen, right? He dropped a bomb, and we just hope for the best success imaginable. Mm-hmm. So yeah, as far as hip hop history, this is one of those albums you have to listen to and go, "That's where all these people came from."
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the cover. I know I don't got an album today for us to look at, but just check out my phone, I guess.
I got a copy of the phone here.
Hey, don't go in my messages, dude. No, but yeah. So what do you, from first glance at this?
He designed it. He designed his own symbol, like Prince to me.
Okay.
All right.
I was gonna ask you guys, what am I looking at as far as? Is those slices in there? Does that mean anything? Is there a subliminal message I'm missing?
Oh,
I only get that the I is the microphone there, but that C has always just been his C.
Okay.
Yeah. To me, it's all he's still trying to. He still has that C as far as his merch line goes.
Yeah. But here at this indenture at top, right here, this reminds me of like a slice of pizza because he wants his piece of the pie.
I like that. I like
what I'm saying.
See, so I love this. I love this. We're
gonna
go.
His cut.
It looks like one of those old film company logos. Like
it does.
Like how Viacom looks, the old Viacom one, the Delco. Remember Delco, the one that pressed RoboCop or whatever it was called?
Is there any Wu-Tang influence, you think?
In my opinion, I believe Canibus as a designer wanted something symbolizing him, so I call it his Prince symbol.
Brass?
Because he uses it on everything now. On even his recent albums, he's still utilizing that C.
Now we're gonna go into more looking kind of beyond. This is nothing factual. This is just
perception.
Me spitballing what I'm perceiving. Just picture like ink blocks. This is what I'm seeing.
Okay.
I am seeing, and you guys are gonna have to take a look at this. There's a couple of theories I have on this.
Okay.
First theory I have on this is the C is like the side of him opening his mouth, spitting something.
Like a mouth. I got
like
you.
a mouth.
I got
right?
you.
Got it.
Because that bottom cut looks like a jawline kind of.
Oh.
That's my first ink block. What I look at that, what I'm kind of pulling out of this. Second thing I'm pulling out of this is just at the first side of this, it looks like he's kind of going at light speed.
I got you. I can see that as well.
Because behind it, you see that light speed
like
kind of look.
It's like he's in the Millennium Falcon or something, hitting light speed.
Well, I thought it was the indigo chakra, which is that's the third eye, right?
Yeah, the third eye.
So it's an indigo background with that piercing spread out, and usually anybody that uses that is depicting the third eye, the indigo color, or whatever. So Canibus, being a huge conspiracy theorist before all of us, essentially, I do believe that he would have considered his logo being something that would be a symbol. So that C definitely represents more than what we're seeing, but I never really fully interpreted what it meant. I just know that the top portion of the C is cracked off as if he's ahead of himself. That's the only thing I could think of.
Ooh. Here's another one, because you know it's sliced into 3 pieces. I thought it was a symbol for
the third letter.
Syllables. Canibus,
and then C is the third letter. Yes, so we got 3 there. Okay, I got you.
My last theory on this one. No, this one I was just like, man, am I high? my last theory on this was I felt like this kind of looked like a planet. And like a meteor is coming towards the planet.
Ooh, okay.
You know, it kind of looks like a planet, and a meteor is coming towards it.
I got you.
And this is like the destruction of this planet once the meteor hit. Like it's coming so fast.
The fracture of the sea does. There has to be some sort of message between. There has to be some sort of message between the fracture of that sea. It's like you just don't make a full sea and then it has a break in the middle. There's like really. There has to be really something to that.
That's right. He's breaking cultural norms.
Yes.
Who knows? Who knows what he's doing? But the gold and the silver and gold is relevant to me. So he made it silver and gold for a reason, not because some no limit shit.
Make it desirable.
I believe if you consider silver and gold entirely, then there might be some symbology behind it. But as far as I've understood or what I know about Canibus, everything he puts on this shit is intentional.
Yes.
Like real talk. So. Yeah, real talk. Like the logo itself, to me, the fact that he's kept it all these years means he perfected it at the beginning.
Yeah, because he's kept it there the whole time.
Yeah, he's still using it now.
Yeah,
Still on his last three projects, he still got 4 projects. He's still using it. So yeah, he's still going.
The last little thing that I pulled from that is that this symbol itself it has some sharps corners to it. So he's like sharp. His technique is sharp, but it's also smooth.
It reminds me of a channel locks too, like the channel lock tool.
Yeah.
I see that
kind
too.
of looks like that.
I see that.
Biggest note is he didn't put his face on it.
Yeah.
He chose the symbol over his face, and now from that point forward, he utilizes the symbol almost for everything. So yeah, I think that's
a good risk. I know it's a big risk. Excuse me, a big risk for marketing
purposes. You don't get the face.
Yeah.
You don't get his face. We don't have the internet yet, we're still blossoming with the internet. So, we don't get a definite look on who he is. So to start with his logo, it's a lot of confidence.
Yes.
He chose bars over his face, I think.
Well said.
Yeah,
well
said, actually. Very well said. Okay, so, I just wanted to talk about the intro again really quick. I feel like the intros are always very important to an album. And with this one, like we were saying, it started off with connected to the internet with the modem and hacking in. Yeah. I love that tone that was set. I mean, this is a guy, you have to remember, like, this guy, and I think this is just a testament to him. He's always been true to him. As far as who he was, he never really steered away from that. And even despite criticisms, like this dude, when he's rapping about all this crazy stuff, like that's really him. Like this guy is a scientific guy. And I think he went to the Navy or to the Army.
He went to the Army. So I believe it's between after 2000 BC, he actually enlisted into the Army. And after that, I think he did a tour, maybe 1 or 2, but it's only like a couple
he
years.
Got an honorable discharge, I believe.
Yes,
for smoking weed.
Yeah.
Smoking cannabis.
So
you ain't gonna let me smoke
I
myself,
forgot
man.
about that. Yeah,
you ain't gonna let me smoke my own shit.
There's literally him freestyling in the back of a tank with him
the camo on.
with him in his fatigues.
Really?
He's looking around real quick. He's like, yo, hey, he starts freestyling. I think he ended up doing that. Who writes the song verse?
Yeah.
He did but it's him in fatigue. He in the back of a tank, which he probably pulled up in. It's cool though. It's nice. It's one of those things, man.
That's one of those
his cover on and everything. It was funny.
Yeah. And I guess and this album is coming off of as well, I want to mention it's coming off of his track that he was on with LL Cool J. So it is coming after this.
You're mentioning the track 432. Yeah, 4321 with LL, Method Man, DMX, and Canibus.
Correct. So I want to mention that. So we're if you didn't catch the last episode, what we're doing is we're choosing 3 tracks of our choice, of our liking, that we want to cover. And what we're doing with that is we're hoping to catch the main spread of this album. And that way it will allow us to go, into more depth. Into more detail with these tracks and allow us to, kind of play and explore with it more, and have fun with it. So 3 tracks, Andre, what you got?
I got Get Retarded, How We Roll, and Channel Zero now. I had Second Round KO, but as I was doing my analysis on it and trying to break it down, I was like, it's just a diss track. Like, and I'm not saying, I'm not minimizing, guys. I'm just saying for what we wanted to do for the show. I mean, there's a lot of history on this track, and it's a historical track. We could definitely talk about it, though. We should talk about Second Round KO. Because the Mike Tyson thing is hilarious, but get Retarded for sure. How We Roll and Channel Zero. As I was listening to Channel Zero, I was like, this is the type of shit that I can't even imagine like what it sounded like back then.
Yes.
So yeah, those are my 3 right there. And then Second Round KO, we just have to like honorable mention if anything.
Yeah.
Mine would be Second Round KO, How We Roll, and Channel Zero.
Okay, mine was the same. Second round KO, How We Roll, Channel Zero. Okay, so so it's good. I mean, I think these are, you know, these do cover a wide range of Canibus. So I think we did a pretty good job there. There are some some honorable mentions I'll kind of mention as well that I liked out of here. But let's go ahead and start with yours.
Get retarded,
first.
man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Get Retarded.
it's after Patriots, and you know, Patriots gets the ball rolling, but Get Retarded is like, that's how he gets, like, that's how he tears you up.
You mentioned his intro,
Right. So we went from intros to Patriots, and then we get hit with Get Retarded.
right.
But like him accessing the internet
And breaking in.
and us being welcome to the internet, we're getting access to this album via
The internet.
Like, well, it's more along the lines of like, the internet access is the album.
Right. But
Sure.
the internet itself is representation of, no, but for real,
It's a
I mean,
trip
it's a
too,
representation of him tapping into the future.
But maybe that explains the hodgepodge of like just intellectual. You just get from conspiracies to astronomy,
because he's in the internet.
So is Mark trying to say like this is in 30 years?
In
type
30,
of-
hey, we could go there. It's some Back to the Future shit
like
on
that,
here.
Back to
that
the
intro. It's like
That
him
intro-
hacking into it. It's like he's giving us the access.
And
years, 3
explaining.
Yo, they finally got it. They finally
Finally got it in 30 years. 3 2s doing a podcast.
It's
That's
the
hip-hop.
anniversary, isn't it? Wait, 90. Well,
25,
it came in
25
98.
years.
Oh yeah.
25 years,
25-year anniversary.
So,
Everything's lining up
Yeah,
now. All the
so
numbers.
25 years.
March 9th. Everything.
So the intro to me is that opening. It's like opening a gateway, and then everything that happens after that intro is based on the knowledge that he's getting in the internet. But the internet can be symbolized as astral travel as well. That has been the symbolization of that. So in films and story lines, if you want to write a story in a unique manner, you would use the internet as a form of astral travel. It's just facts, because they're foreign places that we can't physically grab. So for this whole album, he's speaking from a foreign place, right? So Patriots lands perfectly in regards to the concept of the album, but I feel like Get Retarded is like, this is the Canibus that's been doing the mixtape shit, right?
Yeah, that's his like. Let me bust in and actually show you what I'm about.
Right.
Yeah.
But and then we get Rakim style rhymes where it's like, you know, he's killing you on the mic, he's better. But then out of nowhere on Get Retarded, he's like, I travel to the end of the universe and beyond. Parsecs out of range from a cellular star tech. From the galaxy of Andromeda, I puzzle niggas like crop circles and unexplained phenomena. This right here, that changes the context of what you're experiencing. You're not hearing some battle rapper anymore. No. You're hearing somebody that knows who the fuck they are. Clearly, think about this shit. Pre-internet, everything he said sounds like
parsecs.
Parsecs. What the fuck? What are you talking about?
And the only time you
from a
figure out-
cellular star tech. So a cellular star tech would be, what is that? You know what I'm saying? From the galaxy of Andromeda.
He's on that. He's on that ship on Star Trek right now. Dude.
Exactly.
And he mentions Andromeda. Was
Andromeda, puzzle niggas like crop circles and unexplained phenomena. But that's the
Andromeda phenomenon. Like who? No one's rhyming that.
Exactly.
No
And then for the time
98.
being, I mean, I'm not even going in the patterns right now. I'm going into the depth of what he's saying. What he's saying is hitting. But as a writer or an MC, I mean, Get Retarded is that battle joint where he's hitting you with punchlines throughout the song. But when we hit this part, this is where I realized Get Retarded is more than even the phrase get retarded, right? Get retarded is him saying, I'm so fucking smart that it makes you get retarded, right? Even though he's saying in context of the song, get retarded, go crazy, right? But he's saying everything in regards to my bars will make you feel at one point like you are not mentally
the intellectual bludgeoning of my bars.
Dude, come on. You haven't written a perfect rhyme yet. You don't even know the sequence to the Human Genome Project. Who the fuck knows this? You know what I'm saying? But he's just talking about DNA, right? And how perfect DNA is. Yeah. And in regards to how he writes rhymes. And anybody that doesn't know, a series of rhymes written well is a pattern. They call them patterns. Yeah. Some people call them rhyme schemes. Some people call them patterns. So what he's saying is you haven't written the perfect rhyme yet. You haven't written the perfect pattern like the Human Genome Project, because the DNA strand is a perfect pattern. Come on, man. Who's thinking of this stuff, man? So you haven't come to terms with your God yet. You refuse to believe in unidentified flying objects. So he's God and he's the alien. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So these kind of bars.
He checks both boxes.
Right, he checks both boxes. You can't even find. He's saying he's superior from all angles. So Get Retarded to me, in regards to a first project, brother, and I'll keep it short. In regards to, you know, a first album, a first project, Get Retarded to me should have been the first track almost. It feels like it had the energy of her first like an opening song from Canibus. I feel like Get Retarded would have been better than Patriots, but thematically, Patriots works. You know what I'm saying? Hype shit, blow up a mic shit you might get beat you the fuck up in broad daylight with a nightstick. So broad daylight, nightstick. So we got the comparisons, the dichotomies, to the British, I'm Gandhi, the self-description kind of style, right? Yeah. That self-description shit. To the British, I'm Gandhi. To the Japanese, I'm an American pilot flying over Nagasaki. To the AIDS patient, I'm your last antibody sitting and waiting for a cure from modern biology. That shit right there for the 90s. That's the internet, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Just letting him know I'm death coming.
Right. You can't Google this shit. You have to like really go, man, that nigga went to biology class or something. I don't know what he's talking about. So, you know, touch a microphone on accident and get murdered on purpose, motherfucker. I just love these little moments, right? Yeah. So Get Retarded to me, I feel like Patriots, if you're being judgmental against Canibus, Patriots will be the one song that'll make you go, whack. I knew he was whack.
Or if anything, it's like, this is really out of place.
Right. But thematically it works. So Get Retarded, I gotta have that on my list, man. I gotta have it on my list, man. So what about y'all, man? What y'all got after that?
I'm not gonna lie, this was one of my favorite tracks too.
This
is one of my favorite tracks. It wasn't. I didn't choose it. No, I'm serious.
So it's a good honorable mention. Of course.
I'm serious though. It really was. Like I could have easily taken out second round KO and put this there because I actually love this track a lot. I love his style is pretty cool because the things I'm noticing is like. He tends to like pile on. So once he gets you on a hook, like to the British, I'm Gandhi. And then you'll start going to this, I'm that. Yeah. To this, I'm that. Yes. To this, I'm that. Like all these different examples, but he carries on with that same, you know, piling on with
visualization.
He's getting more like descriptive every time and it just hits. And I notice he does that a lot. It's a cool technique. I like that.
They're measuring bars. I would call them measuring bars.
Yeah.
I heard another person say dick measuring bars. Like my dick is this big bar, but the idea is measuring, right? I'm this smart compared to you,
and it's a good treat to everyone that's well versed in like the punchline of every one of those bars of like, you know, the AIDS patient, last antibody, the Nagasaki line, and then the to the British, I'm Gandhi. It's like, dude,
it's like every time he outdoes himself each line. Yeah, he does.
He's almost
really good and overwhelming.
I like that. Yeah, and that's what I think his goal was too, to overwhelm. Right, in regards to response, not what he's saying, but the response of when you hear it, your head goes, you know, and it almost takes you somewhere. So Get Retarded to me, literally that expression I just gave you, right? You hear a bar so hard, you go stupid. So Get Retarded to me was so many punches in a row, man. That's Ip Man status. And then we move forward, man. But, and also my slight critique on the album is just the beat selection, man. The beat selection is kind of like.
There's even a skit on the next, there's even a skit on 2000 BC where, someone that has the voice of a parody of Wyclef Jean is getting pressed by some dude. He's like, hey, what sample is that from that one song? He's like, oh, that was Qbert.
Oh, yeah.
They start beating him up. But it was
the train, you know, beam boom.
It's one of those moments where there might have been some collusion, which I'll explain later in a second round KO about the beat selection. But other than that, I mean, to me, that's just second to him lyrically. I mean, that's the last thing with this album. Thankfully, that'd be the last thing you would talk about. But it's also noticeable to the trained ear.
I do like in this hook where it talks about, "Ayo, I came to see that hip hop is never tarnished." I like the fact that he is trying to keep hip hop alive still, and that it doesn't go in the wrong direction. You know, anytime a hip hop artist for me that does that, they tend to win me as a MC. Like, you know, just something about that. I like rappers who are about the lyrics and who try to keep hip hop true to that. And right away through that hook and through what he's doing here, you know, I came to find that from Canibus. Like, yo, this guy's trying to make sure that rap doesn't go off the track. Like he wants to keep
Trunks in Dragon Ball Z. He's just trying to make sure everything keeps going straight.
Yeah, it still goes, you know, in the right direction.
9 out of 10 of these rap artists is garbage.
Get retarded.
Get retarded.
That's a good. I think that's the most accurate ratio about anyone that tries to press
he has
any MCs.
He actually has true analytics. He has true analytics when he rhymes his bars.
What do you think about this track, Mark?
I like it. It's just a good slice of anything that you'd get intellectually. I mean, it's. I enjoy the fact that I've listened to this album after college and when I really got into just conspiracy theories and just phenomena and stuff like that. So this was just right up my alley, especially because when I initially started college, I wanted to be a history teacher. And so when he was just saying to the Japanese, I'm an American pilot flying over Nagasaki, World War II, that's my alley. And then when he was just saying I travel through parsecs, through a cellular star tech, it's like, dude, this guy's just like he's on his shit. And like, you know, you see the timestamp, you see 98, you're like, wow, this is one of those, this is me right here on this track. This is where I want you to know, hey, look, this is what you're up against for the rest of this album.
Yeah.
Or what you're going to get for the rest of this album.
Yeah.
Right.
Get Retarded is an honorable mention for just, you know, beyond the three that I have, it's certainly up there with that.
It's so early in the album. That's why I brought it up, because it's early in the album.
I'd
prefer
that's important.
Buckingham Palace before this one, though. So this would be... It would be Buckingham Palace as the first honorable mention, then Get Retarded would be that, because Buckingham Palace is just
I like that.
It's so ferocious, dude. It's just like, you could just picture him just like closing his eyes. It's like, I stand outside the gates of Buckingham Palace, like just really getting off on that too.
I love that beat. Yeah, that beat is
really
very
ominous.
Cerebral. Yeah, it's very cerebral.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Second Round KO?
So you know what? Can we?
We're gonna put it on there. It's on there, right?
It's on there. It's on there.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So Second Round KO right away, like the fact that he has Tyson on here, that is a huge stunt, man. You have Tyson on this
over
track.
the phone.
I didn't know you enough to to protect you.
Yeah.
To defend you. I know you enough to defend you.
Me and Andre have this running joke where I'm just like, hey man, I heard some dudes talking shit about you on the corner of the boulevard. Like just any boulevard.
Boulevard.
Like, but I didn't know you well enough to defend you though, right? And dude, there's times where I'm just like talking to people and I'll say right. And I'm like, man, I'm sounding like Tyson off of Second Round KO.
No, we did that a lot, man.
Did right?
He did pretty well though, like considering, he did pretty well. Like I think he did a pretty cool feature there.
No, Tyson being Tyson, but the idea is simple. If the theme of it though, outside of us laughing at Tyson, Tyson's a legend. We think he's a phenomenon. He's just out of this world. He can do anything. Guy, and I mean, anybody else saying the words that Tyson said on this song would be looking corny. But Tyson can say it.
Yeah, Tyson 98. You say whatever you want, Mike.
Right? Yeah.
Cannabis isn't a cannibal, but hey,
is he on
whatever you want, champ?
Is Tyson on any other track that we know of, hip hop wise?
Yeah, he is. As far as directly being there himself, not them using clips of him talking, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
That's a tough one. I think this would probably be the only one where he's just looped. Like it's the most famous one.
Yeah, right. He's the champion though. You have the heavyweight.
Yeah, right after this. This is 98, so he had to have one of the titles at this point before he loses it to Vander Holyfield.
Yeah.
So
now Mike on here really matters though in regards to what
definitely matters.
What Canibus was doing for the track, for this to be like a battle track directed at LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Maybe directed at LL Cool J, but I feel like other people too. I don't feel like it was all about LL Cool J. But I mean, it was about LL Cool J, but I just feel like he was going for anybody that was remaining.
Yeah, just don't test him. Like look what I'm doing.
I'm going after LL. Like y'all ain't. I'm going after the God right now, right?
Yeah.
So for this track to be as solid as it is, though, I mean. All your fans wear high heels, right? Like for him to punch him, right? What was the shit he said? He
says,
said,
matter of fact, I kicked the skills at real N-word spill, while 99% of your fans were high heels.
There we go.
From Ice-T to Kumo D to Jay-Z.
That's what I wanted to say. From Ice-T to Kumo D to Jay-Z. I think peep game though. I think that was a little letter scheme. Every artist in that row are all a letter-based rapper. And he's talking about LL, right? So he said Ice-T, Kool Mo D, and Jay-Z. So it's like an A to Z kind of play. And then he talks about LL. So I was like, damn, how do you think? But he's that smart, man.
Right.
He's that fucking smart, man. So when the reason I took it off my top 3, because it was like, after I looked into it, it's just him talking shit about LL. It's not like him going in depth about anything.
Yeah.
It's just him talking shit. But the history on this track is what matters.
You can certainly appreciate it as well, because this is a gentleman defending his honor, and it's in a way where in hip hop it's a little more cordial in the fact that you don't want to be the aggressor physically, but hey, I can actually do this. I can be the aggressor lyrically.
Right.
And
But he was mad about LL making him change his his
so
verse.
so the story goes, and this is just me, trying to give you a best guesstimate about this. So they do the 4-3-2-1 song. Canibus says, "Hey, LL, is that a mic on your arm? Let me borrow that." Proceeds with the rest of his rhyme. LL gets that. He already pressed his verse. He comes back, redoes his vocals, and says, the mic on my arm is off to challengers. You talk about the something while I wield the Excalibur." So he backdoored him on the verse, and this is pretty much the only remix where it's a group effort, but someone gets dissed in it.
Right. No, but after that though, LL tells Canibus to change his verse, and LL doesn't change his verse. LL keeps his follow-up on his verse, and he tells Canibus to change his verse. Yeah. So Canibus changes his verse, and then LL still keeps his diss reply. Yeah. So the double standard hit. So I'm sure he was like, though, that's some diva shit. I don't like it. Yeah. And that's how we got the second round KO, right? Because this is the round after his round. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, man, I see where you're coming from, man. But to go at LL at the time was a big fucking deal. Like, wow.
Phenomenon. And then he did, he was at 98, I think he did GOAT. He did that album. So at this point, he was coming back. Not such much of a resurgence, but you're talking 96 and 98. Press does Phenomenon and then does GOAT, which, the acronym GOAT, now it's synonymous with a lot of things. Everyone ties GOAT to basketball, sports, and all that. Thanks. So it's really, really impactful in that regard. But damn, this diss track is going to be the one that they're going to be talking about in hip-hop history schools. It's going to be one out of the three. The Bridge is Over, second round KO, and whichever else one that you'd want to pick. But those two
Ether.
Yeah, there'll be those three. Yeah. But yeah, it's that good. Because it's not just like this, like, hey, I'm gonna bust your ass or I'm gonna shoot you. No, he's all like, get your wife on the horn, call Minister Farrakhan, stick you for your Vanguard Award in front of you and your mom's, your first, second, or third born. Make your wife get on the horn, call Minister Farrakhan. Like, hard. Dude, that's just, whoo, man. Like, just picture like him writing out that verse, just being a focused man. He's like on or off land, programmed to run on 20 miles of soft sand. Like, the guy was just on
brilliance. It, dude. It's just brilliance.
Blast you with a 45 Colt, make you somersault. Like, whoo, shit.
Now, like I told you guys, this was like the first beat, like not the first beat, but one of the first beats I was doing to do like to use basically for a mix or whatever. Yeah. And the beat is what captured me. And once I heard Canibus with this beat, I was done. I was like
perfect.
Blown, because the beat itself, I mean, the way the beat drops, with the Wolfgang sample, and then you have Tyson saying, you know what, nah, man, you got to eat MCs, and then right after that, the bass line drops. Ding, ding.
Yeah.
What an intro to that.
They even had a round break too. He's all like, we're going to roll from the fight of the first
again. And for this to also be, this was his first solo debut, was single before the album even came out. So this is the first thing you're hearing from as a single as well, being the diss track. So that's something that's a little different. But definitely this one stands out because you're right. He's taken on a huge patriarch in hip hop.
Hard. He ain't missing.
He's going in, and he ain't missing.
Still wet behind the ears too, young buck.
So I'm gonna talk about some lines that I like out of here. How he calls out LL. He said he's fronting like a drug-free role model.
Yeah.
You disgust me,
I know friends that saw you smoke weed recently.
Yes. But see, now that
is research the footnotes.
But now when you hear that back,
it shows you he's a fucking nerd. Like, I read your book. I read your footnotes.
Doing his Slim Shady's thing, like just researching but
dissecting the motherfucker.
Yeah. But some of these lines kind of, now when you look back at it, it's not really so bad though. I mean,
Well,
yeah, he
no,
was
but you
smoking
got to be
weed.
there though.
You got to be there. But now when you look at it now and hear it, it's like he was smoking weed. So what? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
But
You claim to be drug free, right?
Yeah, but it's you.
And all you do is take your shirt off, right? So
Right,
that's
right.
the angle he had,
True.
and maybe the angle feels today lighter, but
well, weed at that time was more looked at, more frowned
You get
upon
busted
than it
a
is
lot
for
for
sure
it.
now.
right. But I in regards to, we're outside of the timing of when this happened. It to me is the equivalent of a great artist shouting at Drake or Wayne. And the artist actually has a very practical diss track. Like this nigga hit every lane perfectly, and you listen to the diss track and you go, man, that artist knows what he's talking about. He really he feeling a way. That's what this feels like. It feels like he really considered every angle and he hit him exactly how it would hit him. And I think it worked. But today he kind of looks childish in some areas, but that's because he was younger period, even though he's eons ahead of everybody.
And it
right?
was cool that he was playing off of the GOAT thing. He's all like, that verse was the worst verse I've ever
heard in my life because the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. And shout to Big, it is March 9th, by the way. It's March 9th, which is beautiful. But yeah, I mean, for that, he was saying that if you want a real MC from New York, Biggie did it. Right? I
It's
don't
not even
consider
him.
you.
Yeah, that's the cool part,
If
too.
you
It's
want
like,
an
it ain't
example
me.
of a real artist,
But
you're
it's
not
Biggie,
it. Right.
yeah.
So, I mean, he took his battle rap persona that we know him for and he just put it on a certain opponent.
Yeah, it's taking, to me, this is like one of those moments where LL's getting interrogated and he's getting the lights just shown on him. Like, hey, look, you were like on Nickelodeon and MTV, you're trying to do all these drug-free ads and stuff, but hey, look, like, I've seen people can vouch that you smoke weed on the regular. You know, there's the moment where it's all like, come on, dude, like you think you have legitimate fans. Like your gimmick now between 96 and 98 was taking your shirt off and, you know, showing off your body because it sells.
Kick you in your groin, stick you for your
And-
Vanguard
and I
award
like
in
that.
front of your mom, your first, second, and third born. So, you know, I'm going to knock you out. But he hitting them all kinds of angles, man.
Oh, yeah, and then rip the tat from your arm.
Yeah,
Going back
rip
to
the
that.
tat from
Hell
your arm,
'cause
yeah.
That's his mic now.
I love the contrast though, because he's pointing out things that make LL sound hypocritical, not real. Whereas Canibus, you're getting him. You're getting the real deal of Canibus. He's being who he is. He's
just winning.
fronting. He's not like doing anything like just for the mainstream or whatever. He's being hip hop. He's being what he is. There is also another line that I liked on here.
MCs.
Oh,
For
so
lunch,
there's one
breakfast.
line. There's one line though. I feel like maybe he missed the mark a little on just one line, which is where he'll say it was this moment. It was a good setup here. He said, "Well, let me tell you something. You might got more cash than me, but you ain't got the skills to eat."
That nigga ass like me.
Yeah.
I just watched the interview with. Okay, so
But why would you want to eat someone's ass? I mean,
hey, shout out to Cat. I just watched the
Yeah,
interview
he'll-
with Nims, and they opened with that. They opened the interview with that line, right? And
That's
then
the cool part.
And they
about
fuck
that
around and
interview.
talked about that shit for like 10 minutes. Like, yo, man, how you go? He's like, look, man, I had to say what I had to say back then. You know, a bunch of niggas on the internet make me looking stupid now. Like, I don't eat ass.
It was a good moment though for him to really knock it out of the park. Just the phrasing though could have been
It don't
better. Right
matter.
there.
I mean, he might be actually 100%.
It's funny. It's funny to me. I still love and appreciate Canibus.
No, because it's a battle track that
Yes.
one line could destroy you.
Yes,
No,
yes.
but if it was another MC though, right? And he
Yes.
said eat another rapper's ass like me,
Yeah.
I feel like the diss track would be eliminated.
Yeah.
Like the whole diss track will void itself out because that was such a pause bar. It wouldn't
Yeah,
work.
he's
It wouldn't work, man.
Yeah, it's-
pause bars, man.
It's like you guys remember the Seinfeld episode where like was it Costanza finds a nice shirt for a lady but it has a stain on it and like he doesn't think anyone noticed the stain
But everybody sees
but
the
everyone
stain.
sees the stain.
Yeah.
This is that perfect example where it's like, dude, like Andre mentioned too, it's like we're lucky that he pressed LL lyrically on every side, but this is like the little stain on this whole thing that just kind of like it's noticeable. But damn, like, dude, that's a good diss track. But
Yeah,
that's
exactly,
noticeable.
exactly.
diss track,
And it's still an example of a diss track. Like if I told somebody like, "Oh, I want to study beef, I want to be a battle rapper. What do I watch?" I'm like, "Oh shit, well you got to listen to Second Round KO."
Yeah,
Either.
and the beauty about this track is that it goes back to what I was saying. It's just a gentleman defending his honor.
defending
You
his
know,
honor in
it's
a
like-
hip hop way.
It's It's better than blasting somebody. You know, this is the best part about all. Both of these gentlemen are still alive, thriving in their own regard. But this is from start to finish. You can actually get educated on the fact that, hey, look, this is how it happened. This is something that actually wasn't right, especially on LL's part, which constituted Canibus to be like, no, this is what I'm doing in retaliation is completely right.
Canibus recently did an interview with Matt Hoffa, I think, and he talks about this, and he says what it was like, I guess LL came up to him and like did kind of like a measuring thing. He like dabbed him up and was like kind of held on to him. Like, yeah. So you like kind of this close to him, like on the mic, like, so
trying to sun him,
what's up? Like, you know? And so he said he didn't know what to do. He felt weird. He was just
kissed
like,
him.
you know, and he knows he's a big dude. Like he respects him as far as like what he's done for hip hop. So he's just like, kind of like weirded out. And I guess he made that remark, blah, blah, blah. All that went down. But he said it was just like a weird moment.
Rap is weird.
Like he didn't know how to handle it, and like
probably kept them up close like this. Like, what's up, bitch?
What's up, man?
He probably
What's
saw
up? Rubbing
that.
noses with him. Rubbing noses. What up, son?
Like,
you don't like when I rub my nose on your nose, son?
Canibus's face was probably all up on the mic, like, oh, I like your tat, like, oh, you know.
Give him Eskimo kisses.
But yeah, so you know, and I like this line here that he says, you know, you talk about going platinum, but you're only dropping clues, because LL, when he was saying that diss on his 4, 3, 2, 1, he didn't really say it's like what exactly happened. He just kind of dropped little clues about the mic on his arm.
Yeah, that's a subliminal.
So he's just saying like, you're not even really like real with how you're just like dropping clues. Talking about like,
sorry to cut you off, but the additional layer to that line is you claim that you're going platinum, but you're only dropping clues. At the time, he was only dropping projects with DJ Clue. Yeah. So he's only dropping mixtapes. So how can you go platinum if you're dropping Clue mixtapes?
Right.
Yeah. So it's like
sick.
Fuck, man. Like, no, for real. Like, I was like, how do you
double layers like that? Is beautiful.
Man. No, that's the fun of hip hop when you dig deeper and there's still layers in there, man. But he that was around the time that he was dropping projects with Clue. So he was like, you only dropping clues. Yeah. But the clues also is a reference to how he's only spitting subliminals and no direct shots. And in hip hop, I guess, you know, people love a direct shot. If you just say a person's name, you get more notoriety for it. He didn't say LL's name at all this whole track, did he?
No, I don't think he did. No,
he didn't even reference 2 L's. You know,
no.
But we know who he is. We know who he's talking about. So yeah, phenomenal.
And then you know, he also says, you know, you walk around showing off your body because it sells.
Plus, to avoid the fact that you ain't got skills mad at me because I spit that shit real spill while 99% of your fans wear high heels. But I like that is cool, man. If like I heard that the first time, I was just like, oh man, that's so true. Yeah. Good Lord, that's one of those punches, and that's just one of those punches to the gut where you like expend all your air and then you still get punched in the stomach. So you're just like, oh.
It's kind of 50-50 though, because I mean, is that really a bad thing, having, you know, girls who are your fan?
Well, I mean, really. Hip hop is masculine,
but so, with your lyricism, it's like an Eminem diss.
It's a give and take,
but he's saying you don't got the men on your side, you know. So remember, hip hop at the time, and we got to do all kinds of math, you know, in the 90s. Particularly in the 90s, close to the 2000s, masculinity, man. That's rap. Rap is masculinity.
Yeah, you're either talking about moving weight, shooting hoes. Somebody, pimping somebody,
right?
A paradise of gangsters,
yeah,
a lot of stuff.
But
it was more, you know, it was just about puffing your chest and like being the, you know, like a drug Gambino.
You know, what we have is gender neutral rappers, so we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know what's hip hop anymore.
Right.
I really don't. I guess I kind of see it in 2 categories. Like I see one category as, you know, him basically saying your bars aren't up to par as my bars.
Yeah. It's more mainstream than anything.
Yeah, it's more mainstream,
underground
more pop. You know, pop-ish than it actually is.
Second round KO literally is underground versus mainstream.
Ooh, that's a good. Yeah. When it boils down to it, yep. Yeah.
What do you think about How We Roll?
How We Roll, man. How We Roll was nice, dude. I liked How We Roll a lot.
Dude, that beat.
The beat itself with the horns.
The intro is long as fuck, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's long. I think, it might be the best beat on the album, right? This is the one I think of the most.
And it's upbeat as well. It has nice cuts.
Dude,
like
it's perfect if you ever want to make a mixtape EP. That's just something
the one
that
you
throw
freestyle
on.
to. That's how you
Oh,
shut
man.
And it's also suited to his rhymes too, because it pauses at the right appropriate moments to pause.
A lot of space too. A lot of space for him to
yes, tons of space.
Where the bar ends too. Oh man, there's a lot of playground in that beat.
There's like a, I don't know, it's like a ringing sound, like a there's like a
ringing sound, like
that.
It's
and
fucking solid,
and while it
bro.
does that, the horns like give it a right enough space. It's like like it gives it enough.
Yeah.
It gives it good space.
Isaiah's giving you the producer's standpoint.
Yeah.
He's just
It's usually when we try to explain stuff, it's like explaining the what's going on with our cars. Whenever we need to explain this to a mechanic, we're like, it's going like
It's making our
like.
noise.
But when we explain beats, it's kind of like how we're doing the same thing. But once you guys hear how we roll, it's just
epic.
I like how it kind of, how we roll actually like kind of implies the intro to the whole first verse where it's like and
And
then
the ball roll, and then it's speeding up.
Yeah.
How we roll,
Yeah.
right? So, because the beat does build in a roll style, that shit is fire. I never freestyle for free
without charging
niggas a fee. It'll cost you a brain cell just to cipher with me. So it's gonna cost you your brain cell in this freestyle. Ain't no money gonna be exchanged.
Freestyle or written with infinite ammunition for anybody trying to go the distance. I promise you less than 100,000 kilometers. My bomb threats is how you evacuate in your continent.
You gotta evacuate the continent because its explosion will be so massive.
And the next one is like, I'm barbaric with the alphanumeric.
Yes.
Bro.
I mean,
that's
come
beautiful.
on. Come on. Like, he makes it sound like, you know what it does? He makes it sound like he's the highest, most superior being, right? But he also makes it sound like he's like the most trivial version of a higher, superior being.
With this,
Barbaric with the alphanumeric is like perfect.
listening to this makes you, as an MC, it makes you want to write so much better than you're writing. And I say that with the most respect to everybody's writing style, but it's a matter of like, dude, it's like climbing the summit.
Mm-hmm.
You got all this equipment, you got the oxygen tanks, Biss is at the top, you keep climbing, and you think you're almost there, and bro, you ain't there. But you get close. And it's like, you, as much as you could try to do this, it's like lyrically, he's putting himself on this pedestal that's just unmatched.
Yeah.
That song alone, dude, and that first verse alone just puts it's tough. It's tough to even come close to that.
Wait, but the go to distance kilometer line, right?
Yeah.
Why did he chose kilometers instead of miles? So I always think of the word choice, man.
Yeah.
So Canibus' whole thing is his vocab is superior, and there's no redundancy. And what I mean by redundancy is, I'm fucking your bitch, I'm getting some cash, I'm fucking your bitch, I'm moving real fast, right? He said I'm fucking your bitch twice. The redundancy is the repeated line. Mm-hmm. With Canibus, he doesn't repeat, like as far as redundancy is concerned, he doesn't say I'm miles ahead of you. He says he's kilometers ahead of you.
He wouldn't even,
or the distance between us is so far that I could reach Pluto from where you are, right? He says shit like that. Measurement.
I love how he gets the precise kilometers.
Exact. No, he will write the exact distance from the Earth to the moon.
He'd be the type of MC that would see like cash and be like, no, federal note, denomination.
Yes,
He'll look at just stuff like that. Like, no,
De Niro, capital,
like 18
currency.
different ways.
Yeah.
Like,
I love
tons of variety.
Thesaurus type of energy. It's like a thesaurus energy. It's like the most available terms, he's gonna go in a new direction and he's gonna utilize those terms. Similar to Jizza, it's like he kind of goes out of his way to make sure he lands a word. Or Aesop Rock. Aesop Rock is the best example. He's gonna take a mile away to say he went to the store. You know, I met the barkeep at the market teller, right? And it's like, there's no barkeeps at market tellers. And then you do research and find out in the 1920s that market tellers used to be barkeeps. So that kind of shit. These guys do bars that make you feel like I have to study about 3 or 4 things. And then when I finally get my research right, then the line is completed. But then you look at this guy and go, how the hell did you assimilate these ideas? How did you even get this here into your head? What I say should be displayed at the Smithsonian. Your rhymes are phony and then cubic zirconias. Now, back in the day, everybody rhymes cubic zirconias. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard this line the first time, though, I didn't know what a cubic zirconia was. I didn't know what it was. So when he said it, it was just like cubic zirconia. What is that is that an alien thing or something right? And then later on, I'm chilling, and I found out my earring is cubic zirconia. Yeah. I didn't know that it was cubic zirconia, but bad fake shit. You wear cubic zirconia.
I was gonna say
it's a good play into the phonier than cubic zirconia.
I was gonna say audibly too. Like I like what he's doing. He's rhyming some vowels here with the e. Like he's carrying that on. So you notice that's also happening. But also too, what he's doing is I'm hearing. It's kind of like your actual vocal. Like say I wanted to rap like this, but is like he's matching the same vocal note.
Yeah, I got
as
you.
well. Like he's
from that last bar to that next.
Yeah, it's like he's matching the exact like piano note again. Like even though it's a different word, it's still the same piano note he's hitting when he does rhyme the rhyme. That's another thing I noticed.
I know what you're talking about. The perfect example. You must be asking for some sort of massacre. I'll attack your cardiovascular, right?
Yes.
So he anchors himself to that cadence, that rhythm, that flow. But I mean, even that idea though, we just did Rakim pause, and I love the idea that Rakim at that time was integrating these multi-syllables. Playing a lot with those vowels as well.
Yeah.
To me, Canibus is just trying to find the level after him. He's just trying to find the next level, man. So when I'm hearing him, I mean, at this time we had MCs on a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? I think, Daylight came through at this point. So by the time we heard this one, we've heard so many different variations of really unique hip hop and very intelligent hip hop. That's why I bring in Daylight. So when we're hearing Canibus, the one thing I see Canibus as is like Balrog. Right? Because he's intimidating and he's still landing punches, but he can say some shit like parsets and it still hits you, So
I was gonna say, speaking of Rakim, there was a line in here he says that reminded me of Rakim. He said, "This is for whack dudes doing shows and because I'll be in the crowd if you ain't controlling it." Like, that was Rakim. I'll be in the crowd, and if you ain't doing it, like, I'm going to take it. So he's kind of saying the same thing there. Yeah. Drop the mic. You shouldn't be but the way he says it though is offensive.
Angle. Yeah.
He's saying, drop the mic. You ain't down. You shouldn't be holding it.
Perspective. Yeah.
It's the way he says it that I think has got him in trouble.
You hear that sample? Did you hear that sample at the end? Drop the mic. You shouldn't be. I was just like,
he's on it, okay. Man. I think the best way to look at this track in particular, like Get Retarded was like that battle joint, right? Mm-hmm. Or I wouldn't call it battle. It's just like a exhibition of intelligence.
Yeah, demonstration of skill.
Kung fu
demonstration. He brought out all the
got the nunchucks out.
Boards.
Yeah. He got the nunchucks out. Right.
Retarded.
He did the Dimmock punch with the brick at the bottom. He was just showing off. Man.
How we roll to me feels like a snowball effect on purpose. He's deliberately making a snowball effect.
Especially with at the end. He's like till the meter says 9, 9, 9, 9. Line for line, I go for...
With many lines, more lines than a million pair of Adidas. More lines than the Bible quoted from Jesus. More lines than an African herd of zebras. Niggas ain't even fucking with the cannabis sativa. I didn't know what sativa was. So when I first heard this line, I was like, what?
I'll roll up on your crew quicker than long sleeves at a speed that would confuse Keanu Reeves.
Oh, man.
And then I hop in the back seat. The cabin rhyme
till the meter
says 9, 9, 9, 9.
With many lines, more lines, and a million pairs of Adidas.
Exactly. And then we go from there.
Again,
but all the lines.
Piling on.
But what is he doing? He's just he's upping himself, right? This is like an upping thing.
Right.
The best way to get overwhelmed lyrically. It's comfortable comparisons. It's comfortable things that you can get while he's piling it on. I think this is good, comfortable comparisons. It's not like he's pressing a lot. Later in his later albums, he does it, but with heavier references. And it's like, dude, I don't have a master's in
what is he referencing? Have you heard any of his recent stuff? What is he like referencing now? Does he?
So he has a song called "Secrets of the Cosmonauts."
Yeah,
he has.
His current sound is almost drowned within the realm that he's creating right now.
Yeah.
The intro to this album sounds like all of his music now, where it's like he's hacking into something, right?
Yeah.
So all of his newer music is almost sounds like a former military official that became a mercenary.
Correct.
And the mercenary is rapping his adventures. That's what it sounds like now. It sounds like, you know, I was inside the computer for 3 days.
Okay.
With 3 maids.
I was going to ask, how does that sound?
That's what I'm saying, though. I was inside of the supercomputer where the internet was made, and I got to browse internet by looking at a face.
And his delivery has changed a lot because he
sounds like that now.
Exactly.
He sounds like that. He's not rhyme. It's not about technique now. It's not like this is hyperbolic rhyming right here that we're getting. But the newer Canibus, it's more. It's more that you have to be engaged with the message more than the technique. The message is very important. And what he sounds like is, it almost sounds like Immortal technique.
It would be, he'd want to get the message across more
than a rhyme. Like Immortal's like, I don't fuck a rhyme, all right? These niggas shot people, right? That's how it sounds. So Canibus does the same thing. It's like, you know, people are getting shot inside of the computers, right? And it sounds crazy, but then you listen to what he's saying. He's talking about like the metaverse. He's talking about the Oculus. He's like, the Oculus reads your mind and it knows what you're thinking, right? And it's like, wow, I didn't know that. So, you know, that's what Canibus raps like now. But this version of Canibus, to me, is like a compendium of knowledge, and he's able to give it to us in a way that we can't check, right? But now all the stuff that we listen to today from him, we could Google. We can Google everything he's saying, and there is a result to every fucking thing this guy says. There's a crazy result.
And he's really good in every aspect of emceeing. He just doesn't get supremely lyrical. He also has the ability to make a really good song. There's a few stories in Rip the Jack, his other album, Rip the Jacker, which is his third best album he's ever made. But he tells a great story. He tells 2 or 3 different stories of like a gentleman that's along with somebody else, and they find a way to both perish. And it's very sad. Like all 3 of the stories, as a matter of fact. But he can touch all those bases, but he decides to go to certain avenues where it's like, hey, look, I'm secluding myself from people in this way, but I'm okay with it. This has been his
master's journey.
Yeah, from the beginning, it's always been his journey. And it's like, you either follow me or you don't. But this is how I'm doing it. And even after how he was so close to the sun, it's like his wings melted, and it's like there's definitely a journey that he's going on where we're still following. Me, myself, I'm doing my best, but it's like he releases like 3 albums every year, and I'm like, man, I'm still trying to catch up to this one album, Fate to Comply.
Yeah,
that other album.
No, Full Spectrum Dominance is the one you guys want to fuck with. Yeah, but this was a 3-album series.
And then For Whom the Beat Tolls came out in 2008, and I'm still trying to comprehend.
See, he's in 2008. I'm in 2010s. Yeah, I got the 2010s on me, man.
Like, and I love
Lyrical Law, crazy, came out 2015. Full Spectrum Dominance, Full Spectrum Dominance 2 and 3 all came out in 2018, 2019. Then Full Spectrum Dominance Ultra, which is all of them in one album. He released that in 2019. Then we got a gap because of COVID. Then he comes back with Kaiju.
Yeah.
And then Kaiju, the artwork is awful, but the project's it's pretty decent. One Step Closer to Infinity, that's the one after that. Just the same. It's like he stepped up his quality in a lot of areas, but he's not a technician anymore. He's telling you stories. You have to listen to the stories. And then he just dropped his newest one, Self-Licking Ice Cream Cone.
Yeah.
Last week.
Last week that one's launched.
And that one's crazy.
Even with For Whom the Beat Tolls, this guy,
nice.
Canibus literally has a track where it's 1,000 bars.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like the track's like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But the beauty about that is that during the MySpace days when For Whom the Beat Tolls actually came out, that he had his tool on either the website or he had something on his MySpace where you were able to interlace all four verses, and all of them rhymed into each other or exited out too. It's like there's perfect intros and outros to each one. You can mix it.
I think I can explain it better. So imagine the alphabet, A, B, C, D, all the way to Z, A through Z. I wrote the alphabet in 4 different languages, A through Z. The same amount of letters, right? So if you play this weird-ass song called Poet Laureate Infinity that he made, you can play all 4 versions at the exact same time and switch between them. And the rhymes will land exactly in all the right spots. Right. Oops. So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So let's say that on E, F, G, on that part of the song, you decide to switch the lyrics that you're listening to. The lyrics that you will hear will still make sense to the story he made, and they will still rhyme. and he did it with 4 different versions of the same song. Crazy.
Like
Poet,
freaking Omega Code.
Oh no,
Dude,
but it's the first and last time it has ever been done, and it can't be done again.
Dude,
It can't be done again.
I can't imagine someone doing 1,000 bars. I remember like I mentioned to you guys, doing like 300 almost killed me.
Yeah. Oh my
It was
god.
the worst. I was like going to the recording booth with like 12 fucking pieces of paper, and I'm just like trying to do this, and like my throat's all sore. And like, so all praise due to Canibus on that one, because it's not only just not even just, you know, ripping for that long, but to have a concept behind it too, like throwing layers on top of like something
story.
presentable as 1,000 bars. More props to him. That just shows you he just like, I honestly think he just does it in his sleep. He can wake up and just set off bars.
Being ahead though, you know, being ahead of your time as an artist. What'd you think of Channel Zero?
Oh, so Channel Zero, that one I liked a lot because he started going deeper into things that were like conspiracies. He started touching on dolphins, and, you know, the frequencies that they communicate. Started talking about like aliens and everything. Like, Elohim. Started
Project
questioning
MJ12,
the Bible
Unified
and
Gods.
who are they.
Yeah.
There was a lot, a lot in here that were fun to play with, and that's the thing I like a lot about Canibus, because he takes you into this other like parallel world sometimes.
Yeah.
And you know, he will like, who talks about those things? Like, who goes into those things? Like, what kind of mind is that he's even thinking about stuff like that?
In order to get that information too, especially during that time.
Yeah.
Very difficult. And another point to bring up too is to make that rhyme and for it to be entertaining at that point as well. Very, very good song. There's a disclaimer so in the beginning, blah blah blah. Like, we starts talking about where there was a collusion of agents talking about Project MJ12 being associated with the Greys, where everyone knows that we're in discussions with extraterrestrial biological entities.
Yeah. But imagine the year this is.
But are we?
Yeah. But no, I mean, can you imagine people not taking the song seriously at all?
Yeah. People
You know?
don't even know what the hell's a Grey.
It sounds so far-fetched. Yeah. So listening to this, I remember when I initially heard it, especially around the time Mark was just trying to drop game on me, I don't remember liking this song. I don't remember as soon as I heard Tune In to Channel Zero, I would just change the song.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, genuinely.
The most pop thing is this whole album.
No, I skipped, yeah, but imagine me though, you know, I'm looking for hibbity-bibbity rhymes at the time. And I think everybody at their age today, you know, a lot of younger people, they might only want one thing, flow switches, and they don't want nothing else. They don't care. So in my time, I was just thinking of rhymes and good beats. And as soon as this one starts, I just would skip it. And then...
it's a way to present his first verse is the way to present this whole thing. It's like, hey, look, I'm about to take the veil off. Like, you're about to see what's behind the wizard. You know, like, let me show you where the Wizard of Oz is really at.
Right. And that's kind of what happened. When I was listening again, I had it on loop, and I just played it on loop, and I was like, he's talking about stuff right now. This is the conspiracy stuff that people are talking about now. This is now 98, was it 20? This is like 25 years out. So I'm like, yo, what?
Especially about the Elohim and just deciphering Genesis and the Bible, talking about liquid-filled shoes on the moon.
No. Sometimes the road to truth is so elusive, it's confusing. But he's just giving you the real though. Like, wait, let's see. Like as an author of a book, right? Yeah. It's an amazing way to start this track.
If I showed the masses where we was at, where we was going, I'd shatter the social balance of the world as we know it.
Right. Whew. Because the reality is, if I tell y'all the truth, it's gonna break the game. It's gonna break everybody, right? I mean,
Grand Deception of 1947, which is the Roswell alien crash.
Yes. What did I think you posted it. This guy Billy Carson's a really interesting studier of alien technology. Really good dude. I like him. And he broke it down. He was like, day one, if aliens found out, like we found out aliens existed day one, it would just destroy the internet. Everybody would it would just blow up. It would just break.
It'd be all we talk about. No school.
Nothing would happen. Yeah, nobody would go outside. Right.
No.
It would be a total destruction. Then it would be like an implosion of people wanting more information. Right. Because people want more, and then we would just destroy the internet.
Yeah.
So when I listened to how he was able to speak on these subjects in the late 90s, and you know, we're always going to talk about guys ahead of their time. We're always going to land on that. The idea is simple though. for a person to write these lyrics, do you think that they might have gotten themselves in trouble for even being able to share this?
On a major label,
On Universal?
That's definitely suspicious.
Well,
97% of the presidents are Masons, responsible for laundering trillions of dollars from the nation, for the construction of underground military installations, abductions, and cattle mutilations. So what, think about stealing animals and shit, or a cow being abducted by a UFO and shit like that. Experiments on human patients can take place in several subterranean bases, which is 150 stories below a basement.
I like
so. The rhymes are there. The architecture, the structure of this track is there. The description is vivid and very, very articulated, but it's not nerdy. How did he do that? I want to be a nerd about this shit. I'm going to make it sound like Star Trek if I have to.
Well, I love that line right here. He says, with knowledge of genetic information, you need to fear science, not Satan.
Yes.
Yeah. And
top secret special operations, low frequency sounds and lasers. People like Carl Sagan that didn't believe in the Drake equation. Yeah. Right. And what the Drake equation?
The Drake equation is the mathematical formula of you assessing how many habitable planets are in your galaxy.
And how just essentially how large we are as individuals in this entire cosmos, right? Yeah. And then also just the belief that Drake was going to be here in the future, just completely running the rap game. Carl Sagan didn't believe Drake was coming. So, you know what I'm saying?
I do like to expound on that. Fear science, not Satan, because, and this, like you said, Andre, this applies today because, today it's like, right now science is getting even crazier with AI.
We just unearthed an ancient cell.
Yes.
Wait, no. For real. We resurrected an ancient virus, right?
Oh, recently, yeah.
Yes, we just resurrected it. It was frozen and dead, and these fuckers brought it back to life.
It's like the thing. There's like, oh yeah, let's see what this can do.
Wait, we're bring back the dinosaurs.
We're still finding ancient tombs in Egypt. We just found another tomb with a bunch of bodies.
More tombs in the pyramids.
So I mean, come on,
and there's another shaft in there. Not actual shaft,
and then the fact that like science in itself can go the wrong direction, and eventually, and this is a age before time story. Science itself, probably could be mankind's own detriment.
Yeah.
So, and that's that way that bar still hits, you fear science, not Satan, because science can come around and probably wipe out the humans.
Oh, facts.
In some sort of way. So
the atom bomb.
Right. But I mean, from his perspective, this was pre-internet perspective. And I think what's amazing about this track is the depth that he was able to get to in regards to the conspiracies we deal with without mentioning the effects of the internet. Like, we didn't know. We just didn't know the internet was going to do all this. A lot of songs that will be on the level of what Canibus did on this track, it'll be a lot about AI and how the internet has affected the world. It won't be about these simple subjects. I call them simple because it's actually simple. The reality of it is that the government knows what's up and y'all don't know. But I know. That's how Canibus sounds. I know what they're doing. I've seen the experiments, basically. So every track, like Channel Zero, right? Every project in 2010 after, Canibus sounds like Channel Zero. Every track sounds like Channel
he's
Zero.
Spitting from the military.
Yes,
like the way he comes off.
Yes, everything sounds like Channel Zero. But yeah,
always mentioning a weapon I've never heard of before.
Yeah, some sort of advanced weaponry.
Trachea lasers.
Remember when one of the verse when he's doing in the army on Who Writes the Song, he's like, shrapnel-free concussion grenades.
Yeah.
Mammalian diving reflexes undulating under the waves.
His style is very like laser sharp too. And you could describe it like if it was military weaponry, his style of rap.
Military
each album is like a pyramid.
Yeah,
it's just
military scientists.
Done from the ground up.
Yep.
But I like this. I like this on the track too. Yeah. We as the Elohim gods and goddesses, right? The Elohim would be considered a collection of the gods or the collection of the highest angels, right? So we as the Elohim, first of all, where did you get the Elohim knowledge from to even attach it to this? But we as the Elohim gods and goddesses possess a marvelously monstrous subconscious. Now, what he's saying here is, as the Elohim concept is that all the gods are combined in one space, and they all have the same mind, which would consist of a conscious and a subconscious space. So the subconscious space records everything before and after. So he's saying that we as the Elohim, as the gods, as the aliens, we already know what's going on. Our subconscious is monstrous because we have all the knowledge already. how would he have been able to articulate it at this time, right? Wait, life forms that speak in very high-pitched sounds and squeaks, short staccato clicks
and beeps,
right? And clicks, beeps, a highly advanced form of speech, even though to us it may seem like only chattering their teeth. Right, just random sounds to them, right? Which would be
animal sounds,
dolphin communication, shit, whales, maybe like that.
The superpowers that you found in Echo the Dolphin, right. Video game from Sega Genesis.
Echoes of Dolphin.
They lightly put it into their.
It's a sick game. Check it out.
But to have the knowledge of the Elohim, along with the knowledge of just military underground facilities, you can't just attach the idea that he got this knowledge from the internet. And that's what makes the song so powerful, because this random black motherfucker knows all this shit. That's just to be honest. This guy knows stuff that I feel like even at the time when there were great MCs that were really pushing the boundaries and making people think. Yeah. This to me is some stuff that I really can't believe he put it together.
Dude,
like that.
This is again, this is one of the reasons why it's Canibus to me is his own Shakespearean tragedy, because lyrically his style is second to none. No one on any given day can come close to the body of the lyrical body of work that he's doing via all the albums he's done. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, well, are you trying to take this like if you ever decide to take a commercial approach to this, you know you're going to be at the consequence of letting it die down a little bit lyrically. He doesn't want to do that. He will keep pursuing the warrior's path where it's his journey and we're following, and the diehards will follow. You know, we kind of see early signs of that early in his career because he went out. You know, he went out on his sword with dissing LL. A lot of people can say that Wyclef Jean actually, in conjunction with LL, got him blackballed from the industry at the major label level.
And then against Eminem down the line too.
Yeah. If there was a big label behind him, that would have been a beautiful battle to see them go back and forth. Because, dude, they would have been able to go back, forth. Like, I don't know who the hell would win that.
Right.
Like, you ever get them together like that, that would have been as big, even bigger than Jay-Z and Nas.
Yeah.
Marketed right accordingly. Like,
put in the right spots.
Both labels get a return on that investment of just like, yo, like, you make a diss track on this album that we signed you to, Canibus. Imagine they're both track. On the same label. Right. They're like, let's do it. You guys both got to fight. But he's at the consequence of his own style, and only the diehards filter through. You know, and even at my point, I love Biz. Like I really, he's in my top 10. But even I'm filtering out, and this is me only filtering out for whom the beat tolls, and I still got to catch up. Yeah. You know, and I'm all about it. But it's just, damn, dude, it's a lot to take in.
It's a lot of information.
I think one of the beauties to Canibus, and that really inspired me when he talked about his writing, is that he talks about most rappers. He distinguishes between rappers and MCs. You know, there's rappers and then there's MC. And, you know, rappers kind of follow the rhyme. You know, they're more focused on the rhyming of it. But he says as an MC, you can say whatever you want to say and you'll make it work.
Kind of like word bending.
Yeah. You'll make it work. Like, you know, whatever you're envisioning or whatever is on your heart, you're going to make the rhymes come together to say what your message, what you want to say is. Whereas a rapper's more cat, like it's just more about following the rhyme. Whereas he can actually say whatever he wants to say and he'll make the rhymes come to him more. Like
a better song comes out of you as an MC where you actually see the vision of what you want to put on paper versus you available? Let's I need you for 16 real quick.
Yeah.
That's two totally different things. Like you can really decipher between your guest features and the stuff that you really like. Let me put this get the feathered quill and the ink well out. And let me write this constitution out, of the 16 bars. There's that. There's the energy and the watering of the mouth for that. Versus, hopping on not even your homie, some dude's like, he just wants you on a feature. It's like two different energies to that.
Yeah. I think he blueprints his work. And what I mean by that is like, he he really maps out what he wants to write and what he does. I've seen people actually just write some bars that they thought of on the moment and put it on a project. And I've seen people have 3 different pieces of paper, and one paper has the concept, and one paper has thematic ideas, movie references, stuff like that I've never seen before. And then the last one is the actual rhyme. I think Canibus does that. I think Doom does that. I think Canibus does that. I think Black Thought does that. I just think they have this world where they can, design the lyrics before they start writing the lyrics. And that's how his music sounds. All of his music sounds like
true professionalism.
True professionalism, like he's considered months ahead of himself, maybe. Whereas a rapper might say this shit is tight today. Whereas I feel like Canibus is writing for maybe even 25 years.
Yeah, parsecs. 20,000 parsecs in a cellular Star Tech in the galaxy of Andromeda.
With no reference to Star Trek. So yeah, he's just he's nice, man. He's really nice. And I think he's merciful in regards to his lyricism. And A$AP Rock to me is not merciful. He will write something and you will be stuck for months till you get it. I think De La Soul is not merciful either. I've been doing De La Soul again. It's just hard.
Yeah, De La Soul's like, we know what we're rapping about.
Right.
Do you? No. I'm going to love the fact when we get into De La Soul. Like when we do 3 Feet High and Rising, it's going to be the first time I'm going to listen to it in its fullest. Because I've never been a De La fan. Like I love and respect De La Soul. Like I saw them at Rock the Bells 06. But damn, I'm like, it's not my cup of tea. It ain't. Like, I'm glad I'm bringing this out in the open, but it's like 3 Feet High and Rising. I know it's a top 10 album to some people. It's like one of the hip hop
essentials,
top 20, whatever. I'll listen to it for the first time. I'll give you guys my humble opinion on that. I'll give you guys my 2 cents on that.
So Canibus to me is merciful. He's and what I mean by that is he will consider you trying to attempt to break it down, and he will give you the opportunity. And at least his first 6 albums. And then maybe everything after that, you have to be down.
He's like Commodus and Gladiators.
Right. No, for real. I mean, all the newer stuff, it's like, you just have to know. You have to just know what he's talking about. And if you don't, go ahead and Google it. The answer's there.
And that brings the example of the gentleman that's on his own journey. It's like, hey, you could follow him. Yeah. He's a couple steps behind. You could keep up, but it's like
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Luke Skywalker in this new Star Wars stuff. Like when he doesn't want to be bothered.
You don't want to be fucked
But like if you want to hear him drop some wisdom, he'll be there.
Yeah.
But if shit needs to go down, he'll take down that big ass ATST, take his cloak off, not even be there.
I was gonna say too, transitioning as a battle rapper to actually trying to like make a career and being dropping albums and all that. That transition is also not easy to.
Correct.
We've seen a lot of battle rappers fail at doing that, or not being able to make good songs. Yeah.
I think you can do it one way, but doing it from battle rapper to the other way. There's a
Papoose? Papoose might be a great example. Yeah. I think that's a good example.
I mean, Eminem did do it.
Very few far in between. It's not a commonality of the other way.
Yeah. Eminem is a success story of that formula. Yeah. The best way to look at it in my mind is you're an action director, right? Mm-hmm. You only know how to do fight scenes, but you do the best fight scenes though, right? I mean, kung fu level, excellent fight scenes, but that's what you're good at. They want you to make a movie, but you don't write movies, right? You make fight scenes.
It's like
that's a battle rapper. A battle rapper has a catalog. They put out an album and it's just battle verses. That is not conducive to being a good artist in the rap industry. Yeah. That's just an element, a piece of what a rapper is. So when you look at a great artist, they're capable of giving you every piece of the pie. And then a battle verse or a battle song will be there, but there's other things that'll occupy your mind. But if it's all battle verses, then you have one angle, and I don't think I've seen a film that's just all action scenes from beginning to end. Maybe the Raid,
Shogun Assassin,
Shogun Assassin, and Raid, and maybe Raid. But that's it. I can't think of anything else that would be that engaging and entertaining off of just action scenes with no plot, no vocals, no nothing, just fighting for an hour and a half. I don't think that would make sense.
There got to be some sort of substance behind it.
Right, that's like Michael Bay or something.
Even even hard boiled, as gung-toting and wild as that is, there's still a story.
There's a point.
Yeah,
there's a reason it's happening. And an album to me is a film. You have to make a film, right? You don't want the same scene over and over all the way through your film. You want it to be diverse and tell the story.
Where do you want the songs to be placed? Where do you think where they
sit emotionally? Where would the person be at the end of the song? Right? You don't want to over lyricize the first half of your album and have them overwhelmed and not want to hear the other half. There's elements to this shit. So Canibus, to me, I think for this to be a first album, man, the arc is right. Everything he did is right. He diversified himself as much as he could. His beat selection was just bad for me. But lyrically, he was on point, man. He had everything he needed for this whole run for his first album.
And
go
ahead.
Sorry, this last line though. I hope you become aware that what I'm spitting in your air was intended to stimulate your left brain's hemisphere.
Oh yeah.
As simple as that sounds, back at that time, you know, your brain's hemispheres that wasn't on my mind.
No.
So, you know, I just love I call it perspective.
Yep.
And that's simply
Canibus
what it
is perfect for everyone post-community college.
Yeah.
Like everything after that, you're like, oh yeah, I get this, because you get to hear education and then all the conspiracy theories that come with, community college.
I was going to ask you
high school with ashtrays, everyone. Community college.
I was going to ask you about the beat selecting thing. Is that him selecting the beats? It is, right?
Yeah, it has to be.
It has to be, because
him
at this
and
point, the track record.
It has to be.
The
But
track
getting
record of his
convinced,
beats.
I think getting strong armed by Wyclef to just probably choose the beats, because even with, what did he say in 2000 BC? He's like, I can't tell you, motherfucker, Wyclef spoiled it. Basically, he's putting the blame on Wyclef to make these beats. So it's either he gets presented the beats and like, hey, you gotta make an album to these. I don't know whether or not Wyclef was even signed to Universal to even have that kind of power of just like, hey, Universal wants me to use these beats or whatever.
Maybe he just gave him a batch and he didn't like. It's like that was the best.
This is why I got
out that batch, right?
But that's kind of like the unfair thing about this whole story with Canibus. He never got that guy, that producer, that clicked with.
He didn't get a Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he didn't get his Dr. Dre.
You get him with, at that time, you get him and DJ Premier. You get him doing beats for him. You get
Pete Rock.
Yeah, Pete Rock with him. Prince Paul from. So yeah, the only reason I like De La Soul, even to now, I'm not trying to, but Prince Paul was a great producer. Got good beats too. But yeah, that would have been way better than Wyclef, because I don't even think of Wyclef as a producer. Hell no.
No, I barely like the Refugee beats, to be honest. But yes,
a lot of tough takes tonight.
But yeah, I think if he had his Dr. Dre, man, I feel like that could have even been.
He didn't have anybody to pair with him. And, you know, if he was blackballed by then that's probably what happened.
Yeah. After this album, it's just like, hey, you know, LL's probably putting the word out of like, hey, don't fuck with Canibus. If you want a feature from me anytime soon. Same thing with Wyclef, probably. Collectively, both those guys kind of cover about 60-70% of the industry.
That's crazy.
So he's already
and there's nobody to prove anything other than the word of the main person. You know, if Nicki Minaj is in front of you and she says "fuck that bitch XYZ," you just gonna believe Nicki Minaj, right? XYZ isn't there to defend themselves,
and you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you on that one.
So I could see that happening really, and really shutting him down, man. Like, dang, to be that lyrically skilled and to not have the support on that level is weird. It looks weird on him. It looks weird that nobody wants to help him. You know, like nobody want to get with him in any capacity.
Even after that, he puts out, what is it? Hip Hop for Sale, Magnificent, See True Hollywood Stories, all these, like everything on MikeClub.net.
Yeah.
Has those albums.
Yeah.
Then Rip the Jacker comes out and it's like, oh, hell yeah, he's back. I like this. And Magnificent's really good too. Magnificent is really good too. And then just really got down to For Whom the Beat Tolls, and then
Hip Hop for Sale.
Hip Hop for Sale is just like, oh my god, he's literally in front of like this Escalade, like posted up outside
with his head out.
Big old. Does he have a chain on it? Or he has like a medallion. Like, total. Look at this. I don't know who told him to pose for that, but that's like not atypical.
But that's like somebody suggested it almost more than him wanting to do it.
Him with a wad of cash.
I don't know what they wanted to do with him. I think it's just one of those situations. They just kind of they didn't know where to go with him. And then he dropped Melatonin Magic. That was
crazy.
Really Sea of Tranquility was different, but it's also as crazy as Melatonin Magic. And then he just goes on and on from there. 2010s were just madness. But at the end of the day, even Self-Licking Ice Cream, which came out in 2023, it's just more foray into Channel Zero. It is the actual Channel Zero in a sense, you know? And fun little fact, Channel Zero, if you go to Channel 1, you'll get like static and stuff. Channel 0 is a blank channel, so there's nothing there. So if y'all wanted to know that.
How would you surmise all this with Canibus, Isaiah?
With Canibus, I see it as you definitely have to still check him out as a hip hop head. Like he's so important to like the hip hop history, just, you know, what he's doing here even like is still things like you got to take away like the brilliance of Canibus and where his mind goes with these flows. And he was really doing something so advanced for our time that I feel like the world was not ready. We were not ready for this. And then when he put out this album, you know, he morphed it and got himself to do some actual concepts. You know, he was making an album. He was trying to make his album work, you know, mind you. Yeah. I guess some deem it as a flop, but in a way it's a success though, because it's not easy to transition from this battle rapper into then trying to make a career and trying to make, you know, actual albums work mainstream. Mm-hmm. And he was trying to balance both. He was trying to be true to underground, but also trying to appeal to the masses.
Yes.
And he's trying to do both of them at the same time, you know, on this album, working with Wyclef, he's working with the production crew that maybe it's not giving him the full attention or what he wants or whatever, but he's trying to make the best of it, I feel like. And there's one honorable mention I wanted to mention here. He does a track on number 7's I Honor You, which was dedicated to his moms. I mean, that's pretty cool that he got introspective
talking
in
about
that.
From birth to being born, or to conception to being born.
Yeah.
So
that creative though.
I think what he was doing here was, and this isn't even peak Canibus on this album.
No,
there's some things I've heard from Canibus where I'm just jaw dropped.
Dude, there's like videos on YouTube where he's just all like, what does he say? He's like, I'm an Area 51 lyricist, rhyme sharp enough, the rhyme sharper than the RZA's fist. It's ridiculous how many of you suckers think maybe if we could get a name if Canibus disses us. He's all like, my raps melt the wax right off the back. My raps melt the wax right off the back of Kid Icarus. It's like, oh my God.
I would say to summarize this in one word, I would say perfection.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only thing I can say. It's
early
like
form.
That was lyrically perfection. What he hit. And today I still respect the dude, and I love what he's done. You know, despite all what's happened off the mic, I really don't care. Musically, what he's done, he's taken it to new levels way back then. So you got to check him out if you're a hip hop head.
Absolutely. Please do. Yeah. Please do. If you haven't heard Can I Bus from Canibus,
take him serious.
His 1998 Universal effort. It's a really good album.
Yeah.
It'll crack. If you want to have a few eggs cracked of intellectual knowledge, he'll give you a fucking omelet.
Yeah. Facts.
And you know, his style, it's definitely a different type of fandom. You're that type of fan is tolerant to those extreme, dense lyrics. And I'm definitely that cat. I love dense lyrics like that.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely somebody like I highly respect.
Otherworldly. Otherworldly.
So man, I'm so glad that we got to cover this album. I know we're going to do some more of Canibus down the line. I'm sure there's some dope albums that he put out before. So, thank you guys for rocking with us. Thank you guys for supporting us every week. We're dropping episodes on Mondays. So be blessed. Much love.
Be healthy.
Stay out.